Welcome back, boys and girls. Happy birthday to Full Circle because this week we are 21.
Woo!
So buy us a shot. And by us, I mean the show. And by the show, I mean, I guess
And by
us.
a shot, you mean subscribers.
Oh, there it is. There
We
it is.
can now drink.
Woohoo, yes. Don't know what's in that cup, but doesn't matter what it is because it's legal, I suppose.
It's water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'm your host, Harmon Jr. Please find me at Harmon Jr. and follow me, subscribe to me, like me, love me, hate me.
I'm Jerry Fradette. You can find me at Tumelo. Please only do the first things. I don't handle rejection well. Please don't hate me. But we have another great episode for you this week. We'll be discussing reviews. Reviews.
Yeah, since we're mature, we'll be reviewing things since we have matured.
We'll be doing a review of the game We Happy Few.
We'll be doing a review of the game Spider-Man. Wait, actually, it's Marvel's Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Doing whatever a spider can.
But first and foremost, we'll be doing a review of the Netflix new series, Disenchantment. So, for those of you who don't know, Disenchantment was created by Simpsons and Futurama creator Matt Groening. It's pronounced Groening, even though his name looks like it's spelled groaning.
Okay, I'm glad you made that clear because I was like, ooh, I would have not said that.
Yep. And I'm just gonna say it, even though I've already said this in my review and everybody else has already said it. Disenchantment lives up to its name, or lives down to it. I give it a 5 out of 10.
Were
distraught, disingenuine.
You were disappointment and I got nothing.
I just want to diss it and put it at a distance.
Yeah, you were not enchanted by. Okay, I'm done. They're all bad.
In short, if you watch the trailer, it starts out that Princess Bean is trying to escape a horrible arranged marriage as royals do in ye olden times, and you're like, sweet. That's only the first 2 episodes of the series, and then it ends because it's just too darn inconvenient to get her to be married. That's it. So then you spend the next 6 to 7 episodes just kind of waiting for something to happen,
and nothing ever does.
Nothing happens, and okay.
But Jared, are the characters interesting?
On the surface? So it's like, okay, Princess Bean. Look, she's a rough and tough princess, right? She's not going to take anybody from anybody. Except then, you're like, okay, I get that. Except for 2 things. One, nobody else in her, she lives in a podunk, backwater kingdom. So the fact that she acts podunk and backwater doesn't really make her stand out, right? Secondly, they really at some point just start to hammer it down that she's a failure. The bad trope of a Mary Sue, right? The perfect girl who can do anything. If there's an opposite of that, it's a Princess Bean. Because if you don't know, she sucks at everything. Did you know this, Adele? Anything she tries, she fails at.
Ooh.
She fails at failing, which isn't succeeding. She still somehow fails further.
So, failing to fail is not succeeding.
No, normal people would, but because she's Princess Bean, she still fails further. It's just I get it.
So is it funny, Jared?
It's, for a comedy, it's not even funny. Which is the big thing here, right? And I've heard people complain well, you have to give it a chance. I'm like, a whole season is a big chance.
It's a big chance. Well, it's the only chance you can give a show that has 1 season.
Nope. Netflix is already... It was part of a deal. It's already 1 and 2 seasons.
Oh, so have you watched the 2nd season?
Its 2nd season isn't out yet.
Oh, well, yeah, again, you've already given it as much as a chance as you humanly can at this point in time.
I mean, I guess if I'm playing devil's advocate against myself, the Parks and Rec season 1 is just awful because they're trying to mimic The Office. Yeah, Leslie Knope is stupid and Michael-esque That being said, I just don't know if this is going to get any better because, we already have Matt Groening, we already have a ton of voice actors, Billy West, John DiMaggio. Basically, everybody who is tied with all of his other projects are on board, and you're pulling big names.
So you already have all the right pieces. You have no reason to suck coming out the gate like this.
Right, and and I I wasn't expecting it to just be like another Simpsons or the Bender's Game series of Futurama. Like, I would even be okay if it was like a serious show. That'd be interesting. But it was just so boring. Then, and finally, the last episodes that we build up to, that anything happens, the big plot twist at the end, it occurs, and you're like, yeah? That's kind of the only thing that could have happened. It's like if your mom, postpones Thanksgiving dinner for like 10 hours, and then at the end she goes, guess what? Thanksgiving failed. And you go, yeah? Right? It's still disappointing. I'm still hungry.
Well, I was gonna watch Disenchanted, to be honest with you. But then you told me it sucked. All the reviews I read told me it sucked. Everyone else that I knew who watched it told me it sucked. The French people told me it sucked. Remember, like we talked about this when I was in France. That's right. They were advertising it like there was no tomorrow. Mm-hmm. The French people collectively didn't tell me it sucked, but
the society, yeah, you got that vibe. But I guess to answer your question, like Eric Andre as Lucy the demon, but then again, past episodes 1 and 2, the demon who's meant to corrupt and twist Princess Bean kind of just stops doing that, does his own thing because she's already again a loser. And you're like,
so we have a character that fails at failing, and that the antagonists of the series don't really have anyone to antagonize because she's already sucked it up so much that there's really nothing they can do because she can't succeed, and they're free to just do as
yeah. Now that being said, there's a huge supporting cast of minor characters here that would be interesting in their own right, but we never really get anything out of them. Again, to thinking of The Simpsons and the Futurama, all the minor characters there, right? Mo, now I'm just butchering it. Mo, Principal Skinner, comic book guy,
Dr. Hibbert, Willie,
right? Futurama, Scruffy the janitor, the Kajigger lady, like Mom and her stooge sons, like these are all interesting, and like,
the mutants,
right? Even the sight gags that he's probably most known for, like welcome to New York Taco Bellevue Hospital, like they almost pass too quickly to see, and like as they're like running down the town, I can't read the number of signs that he's like throwing at me. It's too fast. I'm like, that kind of defeats the purpose of a sight gag. And the few you can see aren't particularly funny. Barnes and the Royal Nobles. Well, that's yeah. It's like, okay, I get it. So I don't know. Like,
so I guess honestly, the real question of this at this point is: do you think season 2 will be able to redeem it? Is there a light at the end of this tunnel, or are we just screwed for more of the same? I get it. I know. I got you. It's the first season. And some shows honestly can.
It's the first season. It's the third series by a man who creates comedy for a living.
The facts are really pretty hard to argue when they're presented in that fashion.
It's like the longest running show like ever. Like, he's not new to this.
This is true, and this was his platform, being on Netflix, especially, to completely just go in a complete new direction, fresh coat of paint, do what you want, and it seems like he took the B material from
everything else. Yeah, pretty much.
But hey, Netflix already gave him a paycheck, so who said it had to be quality?
Buyer beware. Don't It's like, don't just sell the cow up front. I don't know. I will say, even though the plot twist was predictable, and if you watch the show, you'll realize it real soon. It's an interesting thing if they'd like to look into it, if they like to delve into it. So season 2, if they want to drink some coffee and take a few slaps to the face to like wake up and get busy, might be interesting. I guess I'll review that whenever we get to it.
Maybe it could be amazing in season 2.
Right?
Like the Amazing Spider-Man. Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Alright, so Marvel Spider-Man came out for the PS4.
Not DC Spider-Man?
No. He'll get a game next year.
Oh, okay, good.
we know Spider-Man's not with
DC.
DC people. We know. We save your comments.
I'll stop you right there.
It was a joke. But yes, Marvel Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Not to be confused with that DC Spider-Man, which could arguably be Bruce Wayne.
No, there's probably a Spider rogue in his rogues gallery.
No. Think about like Spider-Man strings people upside down. Batman strings people upside down. Batman has a lot of tinkering gadgets. Spider-Man has a lot of tinkering gadgets.
Batman's a billionaire, playboy, philanthropist. Spider-Man's...
a regular Joe trying to pay his bills.
Spider-Man likes to adopt several wayward children and make them fight crime alongside him.
I mean, there's the whole Spider-Verse.
Touche! Throw my words back in my face, sir.
But Marvel Spider-Man for PS4 truly is an amazing game. It is fun. The web slinging, you got to see some of that. It looks amazing, people, and it plays amazing because when you do it well, watching it, you may think that's auto swinging, like you're just kind of pressing the swing button and the game's just making you look good. But it's not. It's really you understanding the mechanics of swinging, the mechanics of starting, stopping, building, running, vaulting. Vaulting's a real big thing here that makes it real good and keeps the momentum going. Like, you can honestly, once you know what you're doing, you cannot miss a beat and pretty just get where you're going fast, quick, and in a hurry.
I will say, the swinging I have saw, I'm incredibly impressed with that. If you run into a building or you're running alongside a building, it does not stop or change your momentum, which... Beyond the fact that that's great just aesthetically and mechanically, when you're really just trying to get to the other side of the city, like, that's perfect. Like, you would hate... I've played plenty of games where it's like, yeah, you're gonna fly over here, and then you have to swim through the water. And then you can start running again. But no, like, Spider-Man would just run across or up the building without, like, stopping the momentum.
Yeah, and like you said, aesthetically, like... There's like, let's say there's a fire escape along the building or something. It doesn't like do a thing like, oh well, we're just gonna run through there. Like
no,
he animates himself through it. Like he goes through obstacles with incredible ease and flexibility. Like and that's just amazing visually, but on a technical level, I can't even begin to imagine the programming in that. So cinematically, the game is good. Swinging, the game's fun. Fighting, honestly, is probably one of the weaker points in the game.
As I was watching some of your fights, I was like, okay.
Yeah, you get a lot of gadgets, like, what I was saying. You actually get a lot of gadgets to where you get to a point where it's like, cool, I like my spider drone, or I like my web shooters, or I like to, the web shot, where it's like, you throw, like, basically a web net at people. Mm-hmm. Or the the little tripping mechanics where you can zip someone to a wall or a beam or what have you, and just I won't get into the more fun ones and spoil it for you. But and you get the various different suits, and they each come with suit powers, which you don't have to equip that suit. Once you unlock that suit power, you can just change the suit powers. So
you mean I'm not stuck being the awful, disgusting white Spider-Man redesign?
Yeah, you can just be regular Spider-Man. The one I think that's cool for like you can have the Iron Spider mechanical arms as like your suit power, but without wearing the Iron Spider suit. Which I'll give that one looks a little weird because it makes sense with the suit. Mm-hmm. But I'm happy you can do that because the Iron Spider suit I've never been a fan of. It looks atrocious to me.
But Tony Stark designed it for him personally. He watched him die in Thanos' hands.
Too soon, Jared. Spoiler alert. Now we gotta put the little... If you didn't know by now, God, like, if you just didn't know.
Right? How do you not know?
Like, hell, you could have never seen a movie in the MCU and you know by it.
Literally every day, Google offers me 3 new articles about people's fan theories about how they'll possibly undo it in Avengers 4. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I'm cool with fan theories and, talking about it. We can, talk about... But I feel like at some point, it's just like, we get it. We all know it's going to be undone. Like, this is like a... Well, if we know what's going to happen. We just know.
Here's my fan theory. Thanos didn't destroy everything. He split the universe into 2 Marvel universes. Both universes will work independently, but together to try and fuse their universes back together.
And then they'll collide and, like in the comics, create the Ultimate Universe.
There you go. So... Into that, when that comes up, I'm just going to sit here. We're just going to have a segment where I just sit here and nod at the camera for 10 minutes.
So Jared, here's a fun fact you don't know about Spider-Man. You play as Peter Parker a lot, but it's actually engaging and fun.
Okay.
Like,
as opposed to Peter Parker.
no. So please no, playing Spider-Man, swinging around the city is definitely a highlight, and it is thrilling. And if that game was just like you just get to be part of Spider-Man and swing,
good enough.
That honestly,
they went over the top and added a plot.
Yeah, like that. I would give the game honestly a 6 or a 7, and that's literally with no substance other than swinging. So take that as you will. But so you work for Dr. Octavius. For those who know Spider-Man, they know who that eventually becomes. But...
Dr. Octopus.
Damn, Jared. Damn you.
Hashtag the spoiler.
So you work in a lab, and some of the side activities you can do is actually work on the equipment. They're little puzzles, but they're little Peter. He'll be doing circuitry work. Oh God, he wanted me to do this. So you do science experiments and things. You ran a DNA analysis. It's a little mini game. It's really matching things, and you have the little circuit board games. But being Peter Parker in this game is just as important as being Spider-Man.
Okay.
And honestly, most of the story happens as Peter Parker, and the story doesn't suck. It's legitimately an interesting story.
Okay.
I don't know who wrote the story, but if you told me one of the writers from the comic book series that got on to write this story, either past, present, or future, wrote the story, I would believe it because it's legit good. You get classic Peter Parker. You get I'm zany, but crap, I have MJ and Aunt May, and I'm about to be evicted, and life is collapsing in on me because I honestly can't handle being Peter Parker and Spider-Man both simultaneously at the same time. And ultimately, I choose Spider-Man, and life as Peter Parker suffers horribly because of that. And you see that there, and you feel it. And yeah, again, it's classic Spider-Man, so we've seen this side of Spider-Man before, but in the game, it's very implemented well. So the story, I would say this, the Spider-Man part of the story is very Spider-Man. Stuff happens, it's cool, you see what happens.
Flip.
Yeah, but the Peter Parker side of the story, I think, is the better experience.
Okay. That's that's an interesting take for a video game, I think. Well...
Again, I would say
yes and no, considering that video games now they're really more of a media for telling a story.
Yeah.
But it's, I guess, refreshing when they could have just taken the low hanging fruit and just have had Super Smash Brothers Spider-Man edition.
Yeah.
Just.
And I don't want to oversell it it's the best video game story ever or the best Spider-Man story. It's not. But there was a lot of effort put there when there was literally no need to. If they didn't, the game honestly would probably still be just as good.
That's good. So I guess is there a main bad guy in this one?
Yeah, there's a main bad guy. So you see a lot of this is an older Peter Parker. This isn't his coming of age story. This isn't him new hero on the block. In this universe, he's been Spider-Man for quite some time.
Okay.
He's a very adult Peter Parker. Spider-Man's nothing new. The backpacks, you can collect backpacks that he hid when he was in high school, and you'll literally find stuff in there. He describes how, a fun fact, he talks about how he climbed to the top of the Empire State Building because when he first became Spider-Man and got his powers, it didn't take away his fear of heights. So he had to climb there, and then you'll find stuff. He'll be like, "Oh, this is from my first fight with Electro." He'll be like, "This is the thing that made me start insulating my suit," or he'll mention somber things of oh man, I wish things were, still good between me and Harry. And and there's other things where he talks about man, Oscorp, that place just bad luck for me. I just had a lot of bad. So this is a mature Peter Parker who's been a hero. He's a seasoned hero. So from that standpoint, I really like it because
that alone sounds far more interesting than a lot of what we've normally been given about Spider-Man.
So it's a great game. To me, it was already a good game, but it's a great game because of the direction they took with it. And the details with the story. Peter Parker, it's all those little things that I feel make it go from good to great. I wouldn't say it's the best game of all time, but definitely officially the best Spider-Man game, point blank, period.
Okay, if you had to slap an overall rating on it right now, what would you give it?
I give it probably a 9.5, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Just because... The fun factor is just high.
Okay.
Like, I don't think I'll ever get tired of just freely being Spider-Man. The fighting, the quest, and all that does get a little dry, and actually, it's a very collectathon game at some point, and I honestly get joy out of that. So personally, I give it a 9. If you don't enjoy those aspect of things, it can probably drop down to like an 8, 8.5.
That's fair. And I guess we should emphasize that collectathons are completely different than hide and seek. I hate hide and seek games. Oh, I lost 20 of my pearls. Can you find them in the city? No.
Yeah, and all the fetchy quests, or like the backpack things. Oh, that made sense. When he was a young hero, he kidnapped, so he just hid these backpacks, and they're fun because when you find them, they have little collectibles and tidbits. Like the one I told you about, he finds a picture of himself when he first started, and he gives you so it gives you fun little insights.
Right. These are like Easter eggs versus like chores.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, take a picture of all New York's famous monuments. That's kind of fun because it's modeled after a real city. And I'm gonna be making a trip to New York soon, so I was kind of like, oh, that's cool. And again, they're completely optional, and some of them are cool. Like there's a side quest you can do where you stop a car chase. So you literally chase down the car, and it's very cinematic. You jump on it and you rip people out, and you toss them, and at the very end the car flips over. You catch it and you lay it down. And there's different variations of that, and it's all real fun. So
okay.
Yeah, it's a solid game. I will honestly say, like, once you beat it, you can probably just keep going back just to swing around.
Replayability.
Yeah.
Fun.
I wouldn't say, nothing crazy like Game of the Year and stuff, but it delivered on everything it was supposed to.
Okay, so you'd say it would make you happy.
Yeah, most definitely.
But what about We Happy Few?
Oh.
Happiness is a choice.
It really is. On a serious note, it honestly to God really is.
All you have to do is take the psychotropic drug every few hours.
Not that choice, but yes. Go. I'll put away this soapbox before I get started.
Okay, so We Happy Few came out on Xbox and PC. As viewers of the show will know, I've been very excited for this game. Game-playing wise, I don't know. Don't want to say I'm disappointed, but it hasn't improved itself from the demos.
I mean, you've been playing it literally since that first alpha. What was it part of the? Not the Kickstarter.
No, Kickstarter.
Oh, it's Kickstarter. Okay, yeah. So you were literally the first person I heard about this game from. Like, no news outlet got me on. Like, you have been there for what
all the updates.
3-4 years of playing this game.
Look, they rendered light better. They've added benches now to the sidewalks. And I was like, I first actually personally played this game 2 or 3 years ago. I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. At my very first PAX East. So I think that was 3 years ago, actually. Mm-hmm. And you were playing it before then, so yeah. Yeah. So I'm just going to be kind of harsh on it, and I'm going to give it an upfront 6 out of 10. So for reference, okay, so We Happy Few is a stealth survivor game, and you will play through as many different characters trying to escape the city of Wellington Wells, because I think a lot of people still haven't actually seen or know what it is. So I've played all the way through as the first character, Arthur Hastings, and I've escaped Wellington Wells. So I feel...
Is the game over after that, or is there still more to go?
Nope, you can keep playing as other characters now.
I mean, as far as once you escape, like, you're
once
done.
Once Arthur has escaped, you're done. Like, as each character escapes, that's it. It gives you a warning, once you leave Wellington Wells, their story is done.
Gotcha.
You cannot go back. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a 6.5 out of 10. So immediately playing... all the NPCs are pretty glitchy, which I dock it like half a point for that, or 0.5 for that, because I'm like, okay, glitches occur. But then you start getting into other glitches, like quests that enter infinite loops. Like
you can't complete them?
You can't complete them. Get the backpack. You go to reach for it and it disappears. And you're like, okay, well, and then just stuck in limbo. Or, it will move across the map, and it just keeps moving between 2 points. A character needs you to go pick up an item of theirs, but then it keeps looping between the 2 possible places. Mm. And you're like, this is a pretty big ordeal. I found a fast travel point that anytime you actually fast travel, from point, C to B, and that specifically C to B, the game crashes and exits. Mm. These are pretty big gaming sins. So because of all those, I'd go ahead and knock it down to like 7 or 7.5.
All right.
Ugh, yeah. But then otherwise, you know, I still think it's fun. I love the aesthetic. I like the story. You know, this is England. They unwillingly or they stupidly gave up the war, the Great War, World War One, to the Germans. Wait, no, Winston Churchill was alive in this story, so World War II, I think.
Okay.
Right, but it turns out they could have won, but they fell for a German's bluff, and so the whole country is now psychotropically dosing and dealing with their depression, which might eventually kill them, and why you want to escape. So I find that lore fascinating. I am disappointed by the lore found in the game.
Damn.
Because it's like, oh, what does this note says? I asked for 13 pies, and I only received 12. Well, maybe it was 13, but I forgot. And that's all the note says. I'm like...
Okay.
Right, it's just like a series of like occasionally you'll find gems like I was cleaning out the attic today, and I found 13 like toy trains and like some rattlers. Why would I have that? I don't have kids. Did I have kids? Why would I have kids? And it just kind of trails off, and you're like, oh, that's creepy and symbolic of the larger things that have occurred. But that's like maybe 10% of the notes you find.
All right, so I have a question. So
Yes.
when everything is working perfectly, how's the game?
It's fun. I'm not gonna lie. I pretty much just like. It's fun. It's almost too easy.
Which is weird because I remember the early build I played was actually very difficult.
Yeah,
So
right. Right as you play, like, yeah, I know they've have radically like kept trying to adjust the hardness level, and I think if they, as I hope they continue to patch and update the game, that fluctuates as well. Yeah, because like for a stealth game and a survival game, you can very easily amass yourself a great armory of weapons and just kill everybody
And not worry about it.
You know, as a survival game, I never ran out. I was never in danger of dying from starvation or hydration or sleep deprivation.
And I mean, that's the biggest thing about survival games like that. It's like inventory management. You never have enough of anything. You're always in a constant need of something.
Exactly.
But you may seem like you were just well equipped from beginning to end, it seems like.
Right? A lot of the side quests, again, don't necessarily build anything. This is just a blatant spoiler. My favorite side quest by far was a side quest called I Am Who I Am. And so you infiltrate this cult of people who are worshipping this magical yam, the root vegetable. But lo and behold, it actually is magical, and it grants you either sustained like health, speed, or stamina or something. In addition to that, you're then blessed with the finding of yams, and so now you're prone to, in any given situation, finding a yam, which replenishes your health and thirst, or your food and your thirst. So again, all these other pies like clean water I've been collecting, screw that, chunk them out. I'll just have 5 yams in my inventory, and I'm fine. Like, it was a fun quest, but now it's like, well...
So they took out the difficulty of the survival stealth game and just made it just kind of dick around till you get to the end.
Sort of, yeah. Like, again, I like the kind of story that's built, but it's far and in between the side quests.
Conceptually good, story-wise good. It was just a failure of execution is what it sounded like here.
Pretty much.
Failure to launch, if you will.
Hey, all right. But yeah, so I'll still keep playing the game. I hope they patch it and like fix it in some ways. Go ahead and give it a play. I'm gonna settle here at 6.5 out of 10.
All right, so let's wrap it up like this. We happy for you, yay or nay?
Yay! It's on that side of 5.
Okay, all right.
Yay.
Spider-Man for PS4, giving it a definite yay. I might even say must buy if you're a PS4 owner.
Yeah. And Disenchantment, a really hard pass unless you just are really bored on the weekend and want to torture yourself.
Well, there you have it. This is our review special because we are 21 today. So we, again, are matured. So since you're mature, you're going to like, share, and subscribe on our social medias and get a friend or two to do it. And then that's all I can ask for you. But please follow me at Oda Harmon Jr. on all my social media. That's where you'll find me. It's the same on everything.
You can find me at Toonvelo. For Full Circle Podcast, I'm Jared Fradette.
And I'm Oda Harmon. This Full Circle, as Jared said, brought to you by the Game Fanatics. Y'all, thank you, Jared. Everybody have a great week.